What's up everybody? Today I'm going to be tying a really cool jig pattern using the new squishenille from Hairline. It gives us a really cool rubbery thick body that the fish haven't seen before. So for this jig I'm using a 1/16 ounce pill jig head on a number 2 hook. I powder painted that with a base coat of ProTec yellow, and then I dipped the bottom of the jig in ProTec Blaze orange and sprinkled some black on that so that we have little black spots all over. And then for the eye I used a 3mm yellow 3D eye. For the thread on this jig I'm going to be using orange UTC Ultra Thread 70 denier. We're just going to start that thread behind the head and take it down to the point of the hook. For the tail I'm going to be using this Tiger Barred Magnum rabbit strip. You don't have to have the Magnum, that's a 1/4 inch hide, where the regular is an 1/8 inch, which works just as well, but I just happen to have these Magnum ones which are a little bigger. So I'm just going to take a piece of one of those and we're going to trim it so that the tail will be about the length of the entire hook. And I like to strip the fur off of the hide where we're not going to need it, just to keep our body smaller. So we're just going to tie that hide in right on top of the hook. Make sure it stays nice and straight so that the hide hugs the hook. It should fold over if you do it properly. We want to tie it down tight all the way up to the head, back down and back up again. And for the body, like I said, I'm going to be using Hairline Squishenille. This is medium badger fluorescent cheese color, and then the medium badger hot orange. So I'm going to twist those together. If I could go back I would get small, because the mediums are just giant. I didn't realize they'd be so big, so I would get small size if you can. And we're just going to strip the fibers from the squishenille just like this so that we have the core of that. We're just going to tie the core down, and again this will just help keep down the bulk. I'm going to tie both pieces of that. Tie those down to the tail. So you should see the squishenille should start right there at the tail. And then we're going to take those, separate them from the tail fibers so they don't get twisted up in there. You may need to do that a few times just to get it out of the way. And then we're going to twist these squishenilles together. We should have a nice striped yellow and orange body after we've twisted it enough. Again, get that tail out of the way whenever you need to. And keep twisting it until you have sort of a barber pole effect with the yellow and orange. It should look like a natural chenille by the time you're done. Okay, and then we're going to start that chenille. Just keep nice tight turns. You want to keep it perpendicular to the hook, and we want to pull the previous squishenille fibers back just so that we don't trap down any more than we need to. And since these are so bulky, I like to tie them just up to the head. Don't do too many wraps. And then we're going to tie these down tight with our thread. Make sure you get it nice and tight, but don't pull too hard to where the thread snaps. Then we're going to clip the squishenille fibers off. Make sure you save those buttons for later. And then pull any of the rubber fibers off of the head and clean them up with your thread as you tie those down so that they stay back off of the head. If there's a few that won't behave, you can just clip those off. And once you're happy with that, you can whip finish. Just make sure you keep the thread tight, give it a 5 or 6 turn whip finish. And you can double whip finish on this if you want to. And I would add a little cement or super glue on there just to make sure everything stays down. Cut the thread, and there you have it. This is a completely unique fire tiger pattern I designed. It's sure to catch a ton of fish, and since it's so big and bulky, it can even catch bigger fish like bass. I've actually had a smallmouth take this when I was fishing for crappie, and that was pretty fun. It would probably even work for pike, walleye, things like that. But yeah, give it a go. This will knock them dead. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. We will see you next time.